Thanks for joining us for the Building Outdoor Communities program, Outdoor Economic Impact Toolkit. Your team that's been working on this program is Ash, John, and me, Melissa. For this video, I am going to talk about measuring outdoor recreation impacts. There are a variety of low-cost methods, and we can move into higher cost and higher time methods. Some of the most basic things that you can use are trail counters. There are various companies that offer this, and they range in prices from low to high. Much of that is based on how the data is collected and then the program in which you download it. Trail counters can be a little tricky. They can vary based on weather. They also, if you have circular trails, can count users more than once. Wildlife can go over the trail counts. So when you use them, you need to make sure that someone's always checking them, downloading the data, and calibrating it. And we'll talk a little bit about those visual counts, especially if there's an entrance. Something that's pretty basic is license plate counts. And this kind of moves into this observational research. You can walk around at various times that should be scheduled and count the number of cars there, where the license plate states are, maybe how long they stay. This is unobtrusive. You can just walk around at different times. Again, it needs to be systematic. And the system for observing play and recreation in communities is a well-detailed method in the literature, and it talks about observation. Again, this needs to be done in a very systematic way. But for example, we've done this at Moses Cone in the national park. And literally we would have different days of the week, different times of the week, different locations. And this went over a 3-month period. And you can keep track of how big group size is, what activity they are doing, if they're on horseback, if they're hiking, jogging, how many dogs they have, how many children they have, what age group they appear to be in. So you can go to a lot of places and just observe. Again, making sure it's systematic and kind of reporting back when people are using it and what they're doing. Often people are very surprised at what that looks like. Trailhead surveys can be QR codes. This is pretty basic. You can set up a Google form and connect it to a QR code and have people at the trailhead take a picture and fill it out. This works if you have cell service at your trailhead. If you don't, of course, this can be problematic. I recommend this be really short, less than 10 questions. What's your home zip code? Where did you come from? What activity did you do? How long did you stay? And usually some kind of general overall satisfaction question. And then some, area for an open-ended response. What did you enjoy about your visit, or what would you improve? When you move into more costly methods, you look at intercept surveys. And this is where someone might physically stand at a trailhead or at a special event or something that you are putting on and asking participants a questionnaire. You can do this by paper. One of the challenges with paper is someone has to enter that in a computer system. And every step along that process creates opportunity for error. We have often used in the past iPads that are real easy to work in the field that don't need Wi-Fi, ask various questions. You could also have a mail back where you hand someone an envelope, ask them prepaid stamped envelope that they mail the survey back to you. Again, these things can be costly, but they are going to give you the richest data. And that goes into special events too. If you happen to have a special event where people have to sign up, you can follow up with a survey link to an online survey. Those will have low responses unless you give some incentive, whether it's some type of free weekend, free pass, something that makes people want to fill out the survey. I'm going to talk about secondary data in the upcoming slides, but when you use these methods, To measure outdoor recreation, you want to know the quantity of users, the type of users, how long they're staying or what activity they're doing. This can lead into understanding health impacts for a community, which feeds into kind of quality of life in residents versus non-residents coming to visit for like tourism dollars. Visitor demographics, spending impact from the recreation resource or the asset that you have, property value impacts, quality of life, understanding tourism and economic development efforts. If you have a new facility or new recreation asset that you are bringing people in from outside the community, any type of event impact, and then also understanding resource maintenance. This is one of the biggest issues that we get into when we look at building new facilities or having a facility that starts to become really popular and gets a lot of use. Then on the back end, you have to make sure that it is being maintained properly and that you can protect that resource. I want to talk briefly about advances in technology because you will continue to hear about this. And social media photo sharing applications have become popular to look at destinations, national parks, places where people recreate. There is some correlation in the literature that the amount of people that post at a certain location can help you count the number of people that actually come there. This is still emerging, and it can be complicated to calculate the numbers. Fitness applications like heat maps, I put down here a little bit. You can look at Strava. If you are in a government agency, you can get access to that. We've seen Strava be used a lot in communities and cities, understanding how people walk and cycle through a community to create bike paths. With this mobile location data, fitness applications, social media, one of the limitations is service. Also, who are the type of people that use those kind of applications? And that can be a real strong limitation. But Strava is a tool that's often being used, and it shows some real promise. Also, mobile location data. This is legal. And when you think about where on your cell phone, you might put in a Google map, go someplace, you stop along the way to your destination, and maybe you hike or mountain bike in a forest, and you pull up an All Trails app, and then you record that. So your location is being recorded at multiple points. And there are some companies, some cell providers, there are some limitations to this, and companies that will sell you this data. It is valuable looking at more timestamps, so looking maybe over what this summer was like compared to last summer, especially for rural locations. If you are looking at rural locations that don't have cell service, these technologies can be very difficult to use. It is a growing market. I have put down here a really great article that talks about this, and then some organizations that are doing it. I'm not recommending any of those, but you can kind of go research and see what's happening. Also looking at Google Trends and where people are searching and where they're going. This technology will continue to advance. It's kind of like the Wild West right now. We're trying to understand it and then compare it to actual physical counts and how much they correlate. But I just want you to be aware that these are options out there. And then I want to share this measurement and data examples when we talk about secondary data. There are quite a few examples on the right side of this, but then there are other national and state data sets that you can review and research. This is really important when you put into grant applications or you're trying to sell what you want to do and share your story, is that people understand how large outdoor recreation is and how much it impacts our communities, whether it's health, quality of life, economic development, people moving to relocate businesses. This is really powerful information. So I recommend you kind of research this, and I was going to give two quick examples. There is an outdoor participation study. You can see kind of some key insights about the outdoor economy. Also, the Bureau of Economic Research has not only nationally, but for the state, I put North Carolina in here to understand the GDP and what people are doing, where the state ranks among those activities. And then North Carolina produces all kinds of data to understand tourism, where people are coming from. And I believe this goes all the way down to county level. And so you can really support some of your projects by demonstrating how valuable this industry is. So good luck doing your research, and let us know if you have any questions.